All right, this is a pretty easy process. Since I'm not camping, well, let me start over. Uh, my house is just on the other side of the camera, so it's easy for me to just bring stuff out here. Like I said before, I'm not actually camping. I'm in my backyard, so I brought my lunchbox that I normally take to work because it was easier than actually packing the whole cooler. So this is a pretty simple process. Our fire is going. We'll move over there in a second. But here is our burrito shells. And if you read the directions, they tell you to bake them in the oven or microwave them. But what you can also do is steam them. Now, it's very difficult to steam while you're camping, or is it? This I found works pretty well. You can take some foil, make sure there's no holes in it. Get a paper towel and just some water. And you want to wet the paper towel. You don't have to saturate it because ultimately you're going to wring it out in a second. So you saw I just put a little dribble on there. And then I'm going to wring it out. You know, we don't want it to be sopping wet. We want it to be damp. Because basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this paper towel and we're going to put it inside of this foil with these burrito shells, just right on the bottom, and put the burrito shells on top. And then we're going to seal it up. And we don't want to use the flame of the fire. That's going to be way too hot. We want the heat of the fire. So, you know, you get your fire going in the morning for your coffee. Once the coals start to die down, then you can actually start, you know, making breakfast. This is one of my favorites. It's one of my family's favorites. And this is how I do it. So give me a second and we will move over to the fire and we'll get this on there and I'll show you how it's done. Bear with me. All right, we got everything going, got our stove lit. Let's get this show on the road and get some burritos made. So the first thing we're going to do, normally when I'm camping, I bring a small bottle of oil, but because I'm at the house, I figured I would just grab a little bit of bacon grease because nothing is more delicious than bacon grease. Let me grab a utensil to get that out of there. This will work for now. Not really what I want to use, but it's enough. You just need a little bit. You can use vegetable oil or canola oil or olive oil, bacon grease. You know, you just want to have something in your pan. You know, it's been about a year since I've used this pan, a little less than a year. This is my camping pan. So we'll let this bacon grease do its thing. Get that pan nice and hot. And we'll get our sausage going. All right, looks like our bacon grease is good and hot. Let's get our sausage in here. Oh yeah, you can hear that sizzle. You can hear that sizzle. That's the sound of breakfast going. We're going to use our tongs, kind of squish them around in the bacon grease a little bit. I'm not going to keep the camera running. Probably making a lot of you hungry watching this. I know it's making me hungry cooking it. So we'll pause and I will bring you back when the sausage is ready. All right, as you can see, they are starting to brown. They're certainly not cooked all the way yet, but once I get them about this far, I like to take my knife and cut them into little pieces. as so. About like that size. A quarter, maybe a little less than a half an inch. So let me get all these cut and I'll bring you back in a second. All right, we got them all cut up, and we'll switch from the tongs to the spoon because we're going to need the spoon now. I don't have times for, how long they should cook. You just watch them. You can see where they're still kind of pink. Here you go. See, it's still kind of pink there. Just kind of watch them, and you want them about 3/4 done, which is about where we are now. And then what I do is I put them around the perimeter of my pan, and then I get my peppers and onions, which I pre-chopped. This is half of a medium onion and just less than half. It's about a half a cup of each: chopped onion, green onion, and red onion. And as you can see, it's chopped pretty small. I mean, we are making omelets here, not sausage and peppers. If you start to notice your pan getting a little bit dry, here's where you want to add oil or more bacon grease. Unless you're a health nut and you're worried about all the oil and the grease, but if your priority is health foods, I'm thinking mine's not the channel you should watch. I don't know if this is healthy. I know it's delicious, and I know it's made with fresh ingredients, and to me, in my book, that means it's good for me. So I'm sure there are other probably less calorie or less caloric, if that's the word, type meals that one could make. But this is camping, and with as much exercise and movement as we do while we're camping, it's probably not hard to burn off the calories that these burritos. You want to give it about a minute, and then just start working everything together. As you can see, your sausage is starting to brown up on all sides. You're seeing less and less pink. You certainly don't want to eat raw sausage. So you want to cook this. At this point, you want to keep this on here until you see all the pink in your sausage is gone. What it's going to do is, it won't overcook the peppers and the onions because, we cooked it about 3/4 of the way, a little more than half, a little more than halfway, but as you can see, our sausage is browning up nice. I'm not serving this to my family. So me sticking my fingers in it, don't worry about that. And again, I'm the cook. I can stick my fingers in it if I want. My hands are clean. I washed them before I started. But this is camping. So we're going to leave that go. And we will go and grab our burrito shells because we are just about ready to start building some burritos. So let me pause you right there. I'll grab my burrito shells and we'll be back with you in a minute. All right, our burrito shells are just about ready. We have no brown or no red or pink in our sausage. We look good here. Now here's where we add the egg. So basically at this point, we're just going to crack them and put them right in there. Trying to avoid getting shells in there like I just did. Again, sticking my fingers in it. Now we're just going to stir this and do a scramble. If you want to pre-scramble or whip your eggs, go ahead. There's nothing saying you can't do that. I'm not a big fan of lots of dirty dishes when I'm camping. So I tend to do it that way. You know, it ultimately works out the same. I got my eggs. They're scrambled. They're mixing in with my peppers and all that good stuff. The sausage and the peppers and the onions. As soon as the burritos are ready, we'll pull them, you know, off, and we will build some burritos. Some Western omelet breakfast burritos. At least that's what I call them. So, bear with me. I'll bring you back as soon as we're ready to start putting them together. All right, while we wait for this to finish, which it's just about done, I got my burritos off. I'll give you a little tour of my camp kitchen. This was I believe it was a Father's Day gift. It is a Cabela's. It is their camp kitchen. It's got stuff for your, you know, you put your spices here, and it's got some hooks up here, so you can hang your tools, you know, so you can organize. This section down here, there's like a cabinet that's cloth, has like a zipper opening with some shelves. You can put your plates in there, and this tub comes out. It's like a sink, you know, so it helps to wash dishes. It's super convenient, you know, to have a setup. You know, I have my bin here that I normally take camping with me, that has all my camping gear in it. It's got my plates and coffee pots and all that good jazz. But this is normally how I do it. It has this rack here that opens up where I put my camp stove on. Oh yeah, we are looking delicious over here. It is just about done. In fact, it's ready to go. So let's turn our stove off. This is just a dual fuel Coleman stove. This was my grandfather's. It ended up being mine because my grandfather passed away, and I use it all the time. It's 2 burners. I've had it as long as I had it when it was given to me, and I'm pretty sure that stove is older than I am because my grandfather camped before I was born. So, all right, here we go. Basically what we're going to do to build our burritos, we got our shells here. They are good and warm. Oh yeah, that's a good looking burrito shell. So we're going to take our filling, just put about a scoop there in the middle. Now what I like to do is, if you saw in the recipe, I put hot sauce. These are just some little packets of hot sauce that I picked up at a local convenience store. Normally I have a bin with, you know, I keep the oil and hot sauce and stuff like that in there. I prefer a little bit of hot sauce on my burrito. Not a lot, just a little drizzle there, just to give it a little bit of something something. And then this is just some plain Mexican blend cheese. It's probably cheddar and Colby Jack. Yeah, Monterey Jack, cheddar, and a few other types of cheeses. You can use whatever cheese you want. Just like with the sausage, you can use loose sausage, bulk sausage, patty sausage. It's really a preference. Basically, I'm just showing you how to do all this. It's pretty simple. You saw I heated some burritos on a fire. I whipped up some filling in one pot, and now we're going to build this burrito. And boom, we have a Western omelet breakfast burrito. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I can't do cold Pop-Tarts. I have, but when I'm camping, I like to eat something good. You know, a hot dog on a stick, don't cut it. Just like a cold Pop-Tart or a stale donut. You know, this is easy to make. Yeah, it takes a bunch of gear. Ultimately, I could have made this on the fire. A little more challenging, adjusting the heat of the fire, you know, to where you don't burn it in the pan. I use the stove for convenience. If you see the dog walking through, she's, you know, thinking she's going to get some of this burrito. She's out her stinking mind. But she's looking around in case I drop something. So there you go. This is Western omelet, and you can see it. Oh yeah, that's delicious. That's good. That's what camping's all about. Is something good to eat. Doesn't take much. You pre-chop your vegetables, throw it all together. I mean, yeah, I paused the video a couple of times, but ultimately I could have had these ready for, and I still have a bunch more over there. I could make 4, maybe 5 more. Hard to say. I've never really judged. Normally when we camp, it's either 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, or 5 of us, depending on who all in the family in the household goes with us. Kids don't go every trip. So a lot of times, like that was 4 eggs. If it's just the wife and I, I'll just do 2 eggs and just split the pepper onion mix in half, or just chop less and put it in a baggie. But a little bit of prep work in advance, and boom, throw it all together, and you got yourself a delicious camping breakfast. So remember, keep your head on a swivel, and until the next one, enjoy your camp breakfast.